All right, let's get straight into it. Welcome to this Strategic Explainer, our definitive masterclass, where we are going to break down exactly how to secure top-tier marks in one of the most notoriously challenging high-tariff topics in the Cambridge accounting syllabus, investment appraisal, specifically net present value or NPV. Now, if you've been studying for the Cambridge AS and A-Level Accounting 9706 exam, you already know that NPV is an absolute heavyweight topic. But here is the reality check. Having the formulas memorized is only half the battle. Today, I'm putting on my expert examiner hat. We are focusing entirely on the exact examiner expectations, the hidden constraints of the prompts, and the critical thinking strategies that separate an average grade from an exceptional top band score. So let's start out with a high-stakes question. Why do students consistently lose easy marks on NPV? It's a frustrating reality that we see year after year. Despite mastering the complex math, despite calculating discount factors flawlessly and running the numbers with absolute precision, countless students still drop essential marks when they sit down and actually face the exam paper. They do the hard technical part right, but they completely miss the overarching strategy. They treat it like a math test instead of a strategic business advisory report. The answer to that problem lies in this direct principal examiner alert pulled straight from the examiner reports. Quote, "The classic mistake is providing generic answers not specific to the question context. Examiners are explicitly warning us here." This brings us right into the anatomy of command words. You have to deeply contrast a word like analyze versus evaluate, or explain versus to what extent. If the command word is evaluate, examiners are looking for precise contextual application. Rote memorization of accounting theory is not enough if you cannot apply it to the specific business scenario sitting in front of you. When you see a 9 to 15 mark sample question, you have to isolate that command word, lock down the content knowledge required, and adapt to the constraints of the prompt. Today's syllabus for this masterclass will decode the examiner's lens by covering 4 crucial areas. First, mastering core cognitive domains. Second, the method mark strategy. Third, top 3 examiner warnings. And fourth, critical analysis and evaluation.
Section 1. Mastering core cognitive domains.
Before we can solve an NPV problem, we must first understand the academic benchmarks that Cambridge examiners use to assess your answers. They aren't just looking at your final number, they are evaluating how your brain processed the problem. Notice the clear distinction here between superficial breadth and analytical depth. Let's picture 2 typical scholars in a collaborative digital study suite, let's call them Alex and Sam, working on the exact same complex problem. Alex is highly technical. Alex pushes for a purely factual approach, trying to list out every single thing they know about NPV. That is superficial breadth. Sam, on the other hand, is a creative thinker and argues for a broader conceptual perspective, focusing on deep, logical, and structured reasoning over just listing facts. The assessment framework strictly prioritizes Sam's approach. Writing down 20 random facts won't score you high marks if those facts aren't deeply analyzed. Depth absolutely always wins.
To reach that necessary depth and unlock the top-tier marking bands, your response must target these 3 distinct cognitive domains simultaneously. These are your assessment objectives: A01 knowledge and understanding, A02 analysis, and A03 evaluation. During our hypothetical peer debate, Alex might say, "I demonstrated knowledge by showing the formula." But Sam correctly challenges that interpretation, jumping in with, "Yes, but to hit evaluation, we have to analyze the data provided and then evaluate what that data actually means for this specific business's future." It requires a connected conceptual understanding to move smoothly through these 3 tiers. You can't just stop at A01 and expect an A-star.
Furthermore, the theoretical architecture of NPV does not exist in a vacuum. It rests on integrating your answer with other syllabus areas. The examiner reports clearly state that candidates who highlight causal relationships and make cross-topic connections achieve significantly higher marks. Think about how a proposed investment affecting NPV might also impact liquidity, or gearing, or variance analysis down the line. Showing that interconnected knowledge, that 360-degree business awareness, is a hallmark of an elite student. Section 2. The method mark strategy. Systematic processing is mandatory. You must rigidly follow the standardized 5-step sequence every single time you tackle an NPV dataset. First, identify the key elements. Second, apply relevant principles. Third, execute analysis with clear working. Fourth, verify results. And fifth, present in the appropriate format. Now, right before we get to the hardest part of applying this, I'm going to pause our session for a quick, critical reminder. If you want to consistently conquer these exams, hit that subscribe button for the channel Ace the Exams IGCSE O&A levels at handle at AceTheExams_IGCSE right now. Enable all notifications, ring that bell, so you never miss a weekly Cambridge breakthrough strategy. Okay, let's get back to it. Imagine Alex and Sam are actively drafting a model response on screen, paragraph by paragraph, and they hit a major roadblock. They've got the numbers, but they are struggling with timing and paragraph linking. This is where I step in as your coach. The cognitive strategy to get unstuck is to lean entirely on the method marks. Even if your final calculation goes off the rails because you panicked about time, executing step 3, clear working, guarantees you scoop up vital marks. We rewrite the flawed section out loud by simply tracking the process step by step.
Practical application also means adhering strictly to presentation conventions. Look at these bullets: proper headings, correct terminology, appropriate formats, and clear annotation. Beyond just doing the math, you have to communicate it professionally. If your cash flow table lacks clear headings or uses sloppy terminology, the examiner literally can't award you full method marks, even if the final NPV figure at the bottom is technically correct. Formatting isn't just about making it look pretty, it is a demonstration of professional academic structure.
Section 3. Top 3 Examiner Warnings. Welcome to our interactive visual workshop segment. Let's do a pause and practice exercise right here. These are the top 3 roadblocks where students forfeit easy marks. Number 1, vague answers lacking specific detail. Number 2, forgetting format and presentation conventions. Number 3, generic answers not specific to the context given. Imagine a poorly written student answer on the screen right now. If I asked you to spot the flaw, you would systematically highlight these exact traps. If the student writes, "The company will make money," that hits trap number 1. It's vague. It needs to be quantified. If they write a whole paragraph about generic investment theory but never mention the actual machinery the prompt is about, that hits trap number 3. Examiners set these traps intentionally. I want you to burn this number into your memory: 3. It's a simple, powerful memory hack. Whenever you finish an NPV question, I want you to initiate the last 5 minutes review checklist. Do a quick mental check against those 3 specific warnings before the clock runs out. Ask yourself, is my answer vague? Is my formatting messy? Is my conclusion generic? Running your final answer through this specific checklist can absolutely save your grade and bump you up to the next band.
Section 4. Critical Analysis and Evaluation. When an exam question demands comparative analysis, you must structure your evaluation precisely like this table. This is the blueprint for a flawless, full-mark response. You need to explicitly identify both similarities and differences between your options. You must use clear comparative connectives, words like whereas, however, or conversely. You have to justify every single point with hard evidence extracted from the text. And finally, your conclusion must draw a line on relative importance, telling the examiner exactly why one factor outweighs another. This is the difference between a student who just lists facts and a scholar who constructs an airtight argument. Let's do another pause and practice right here. Imagine a complex data source on your screen, maybe a graph or a chart showing projected cash flows. I'm giving you a 60-second mental countdown. What are you looking for? Top-scoring candidates consistently demonstrate evaluative thinking by hitting these 3 analytical benchmarks. They question assumptions. For instance, is the discount rate realistic for the next 5 years? They consider different perspectives. Sure, the financial NPV is positive, but what are the non-financial impacts, like employee morale or market reputation? And lastly, they justify their decisions with evidence. Never accept the provided data at face value without interrogating it. Ultimately, your data interpretation skills must bridge the gap between abstract numbers and a concrete, evidence-based business decision. You aren't just calculating an NPV of $50,000, you're interpreting the relationship between that return, the initial risk, the payback period, and the company's strategic goals to draw a definitive conclusion on whether the project should actually proceed. This brings us to the most crucial point of our entire session. Always link every point to the scenario. Let's synthesize this masterclass into 3 core, memorable pillars. The 3-step question scan, where you isolate the command word; the paragraph balance formula, where you ensure you have equal parts knowledge, analysis, and evaluation; and the last 5 minutes review checklist. If you take away just one strategic pillar from this explainer, let it be this: a perfect theoretical answer is completely useless if it is not tailored to the unique context of the company in the prompt. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with a powerful final thought. Ask yourself, are your current NPV evaluations truly evidence-based? And what is your target grade for the next exam? Are your study methods actually building that required analytical depth? Crushing Cambridge exams requires consistent strategy. Start demanding elite precision from every single practice answer you write.
Now hit the subscribe button for Ace the Exam's IGCSO and A levels at handle at acetheexam_IGC. Turn on that notification bell for future exam hacks, and leave a comment down below right now with your target grade. Keep analyzing, keep linking back to the scenario, and I will see you in the next masterclass.